classroom management tools, the classroom discipline, and class rules, and all of that have to be rewritten for cooperative learning to work. Now, if you do all of this, there's a little bit also about cooperative game. You know, in the morning we play the game, Follow the Leader. That's a cooperative game. In cooperative learning, we call it All of Us All at Once. And there are hundreds of such games. These games are non-competitive. There is no competition. No one loses. No one is ever out. It's suitable for all age groups. It can be used for learning content. There are cooperative games for maths. You want to teach maths, mathematical concepts, there are cooperative games for them. Intensity level, there are some that will make you sweat like you've run a 100-meter sprint. And there are some that you can carry out sitting and leisurely. Cooperative games. And they're fun. There are studies done by the University of Ottawa that have said that if you want to improve the moral education environment of your institution, your school, if you don't do anything else and introduce and structure cooperative games, you will get those results. Just by playing cooperative games. And you will find that children actually become more moral. I ask you, if children learn to collaborate with each other, what are the values required for being able to cooperate together? Children begin to develop those qualities and more. What are the benefits of cooperative learning? Here, team building and cooperation. Think about it. What are the values? What are the attitudes required? It begins to happen. And there are thousands of reports. Please do a Google search. Please do, and don't take my word for it. Do a Google search on cooperative learning, structural approach to cooperative learning, and find out for yourself. And these are the benefits of it. They break down differences. Social skills are enhanced. Thinking skills. Children are discussing things all the time in groups, therefore they are bound to think. They have to think. Communication skills develop. Children actually begin to do better in their studies. Their language skills become better. Their English improves because everything is happening in English. So these are the byproducts of it. And better comprehension, and they remember things longer. And of course, they enjoy. You're giving more power to the children. They enjoy what they are doing. So please explore the possibilities of adopting cooperative learning in your schools. It not only will help your academic environment and achievement, but also will directly affect the value environment of the school. These are some of the challenges for the integrated approach. Everybody has to participate in this. You cannot have some teachers doing it and some don't. So there is some work to be done there. Time factor here means that many times I have found out teachers will come and say, sir, this is all very good, talking about values and using cooperative learning. But you know what, sir, it takes a lot of time. I have to finish the portion. I have to complete the portion. There are exams coming up. How can I do it? This is an illusion. All of this takes very little time. And in fact, many times when we don't teach well, we have to repeat things with children. We have to revise with them again. I promise you, you're saving time. With cooperative learning, if you teach them once well, you don't have to go back and teach it again. You're saving time. So, where was I? So, as much as we can talk about cooperative learning is less. There's much more to it than all of this. I have to wait for this to come back on till. Anybody has any questions so far? Maybe we can. Okay, here, it's back on. Right. Participative interaction, classroom management has to change, classroom discipline has to change, teacher-student relationship is something that has to change if cooperative learning is to work. And these are the challenges. Coming now to the whole school. Now, reinforcement level goes higher. Now we come out of the classroom. Till now we were in the classroom. Now everything else. Friends, values are everywhere. In the whole school, everywhere we have opportunities for reinforcing values in our children. First of all, we begin with the leadership, with me, right up there. What are my values? Am I careful? Am I, we question our own self and all of that. Then we look at the school policies, the norms, the regulations, the vision of the school. Is there anything at all that is not aligned with the values that we wish to promote among our children? That has to change. That realignment will have to happen. So this, by the way, is an ongoing thing. So this is something important. Then we look at our discipline management. We cannot go and bring about a lot of fear and anger and frustration and hope that children will improve their morals. So that has to be redefined. And then finally, every single thing that happens in the school. Look at what I've written over there, transport. Forget about the classroom. Forget about the moral education teacher. Do you know who is the first moral education teacher of the school? It's the bus driver. This child at 5, I don't know how early they leave, 6, 7 in the morning, gets into the bus. The bus driver is in a foul mood, bad mood, and is using bad language in front of the children. It's done. Now forget about value education for the rest of the day because the wrong values have been taught to the child. Somebody will have to get all these people, the gardeners, the watchman, the conductor, everybody, and talk to them regularly. Orient them about values. So you are a value. As long as children are in touch with people, they are value education teachers. That's the whole school. How do we conduct the morning assemblies? What goes on in the library? What is happening during breaks and recess? What is happening during games time? Cultural activities and all of that. We need to carefully look at all of that. And then we can hope that things will become better and they will reinforce the kind of values that we really want. And again, we cannot emphasize enough staff modeling. Staff modeling meaning the example that we set for the children to follow. Everything said and done, if we are saying something and doing something, it'll never work. Let me give you an example. This is something that I've actually seen. There's a 35-minute value education class where children are learning about kindness to animals. Yes? Bell rings, children pour out of the class, they come in the playground, and what do they see? They see the gardener with a stick running after a dog and hitting him. Why? Because this dog messed up his flower bed. Now I ask you, which of this will have a more profound effect on the young minds? That 35-minute theoretical lesson on kindness to animals, or what they're actually seeing out there? Staff modeling is something that is the final frontier, and we cannot ignore that. A last word of advice. This is something we keep doing in our school, and there are a few other schools that I'm aware of that they are doing. Friends, once in a while, please get everybody together in your school and clarify some of the concepts that are related to a school's functioning. For example, who are we as human beings? We have been talking about this since morning. What is human reality? Is it just this body, or is it more than that? What is the purpose of our life? How many of us have actually asked this question in our lifetime? How many parents do that with their children? So once in a while, what is our interrelationship with each other? What are the aims and objectives of education? Friends, how many of us have done B.Ed? Many of us have done B.Ed and these specialized courses, but we still struggle today to understand what is the purpose of education. What are the characteristics of an ideal school? What are the characteristics of an ideal teacher? How do students learn? How do we motivate somebody to do something great? I mean, if our children are motivated, then we have achieved a lot. Friends, if we identify and we redefine periodically these ideas for ourselves, you will yourself discover inconsistencies. Okay, wait a minute. I know that human beings have been created noble, but then we have a whole lot of students who are acting in a manner that is not noble. Why? So we try to find out. And then we find that there is something wrong. If a noble person is acting in a manner that is not noble, it is because of the environment of that person. It's because of the training that that person is receiving. It's because of the education that that person is receiving. A little course correction is done over there. Wait a minute. The purpose of education is this. But here something else is happening. So then we have a problem. So everybody, come on, let's fix this. Then we have to align. Education is supposed to bring everybody together and carrying forward an ever-advancing civilization. But here they are in cutthroat competition with each other. Something wrong. Let's fix it. Please carry out periodically this exercise of redefining and questioning your own understanding of these basic concepts once in a while. It's very revealing, very educative. Some challenges again for the whole school approach. The first is, of course, many times we don't do anything because we can't agree on one common set of values. You know, NCRT, Mrs. Wahidi would know, the NCRT was struggling to get its act together with value education for nearly 10 years because they could not agree on which set of values to promote. Traditional values, cultural values, Vedic values, universal values, which values? It doesn't matter. Go ahead, take any value and it'll take you somewhere. So don't waste so much time with that. Please invest the time and effort that it requires. And I promise you, it takes a lot of effort. But it's worth it because it's a priority. Everybody in the school has to get involved in value education. Everybody without exception, right from the bus driver to the principal. And be at it. We need to be at it all the time. We need to be consistent. One teacher comes and does something, another one comes and does something, will not work. There has to be consistency in doing that. Please address the issue of too much competition. And I have only one solution for too much competition. Friends, if you cannot reduce the instances of competition, please increase the instances of cooperation. That's the only way it can work. You cannot change the manner in which examinations are conducted. You cannot change the manner in which sports and games are conducted. So you have one option, have more cooperation, which is why cooperative learning, which is why other things that we can, cooperative games and a lot of other things. But please address that. That's a big challenge. And of course, innovation and creativity. I think somebody did mention it in the morning about innovation and creativity. All of this requires us to do something different. Therefore, a culture of creativity and innovation needs to abound in our school. This itself is a big subject that requires a lot of thought. We need to learn, we need to understand how things happen, and friends, let's be patient with each other over the mistakes that we commit. We are very, very impatient with mistakes. All of this is new for many of us, and we need to be patient with all of that. Next step, please document. If you get started with something, please write them down. There'll be a repository of knowledge for you. Next step, reach out to the parents. Mrs. Boyd again asked this question. Reach out to the parents. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there. We fix things in the school. If the home environment is also aligned to the school, light upon light. Children learn better. So there is a lot of work to be done there as well. And of course, service activities is what we heard